When she says she loves you, what do you say? What is your response? What's your, comeback? And I started off out the gate, coming on with that statement. When she said she loved you, it would seem like that's an easy answer, but for me, this is when I usually botch things up. I botch things up right about that moment in time. That's when I really mess things up. And that's but the growth in me, the maturity in me now, versus the kid in me. I handle things differently, but yet still, that was the one thing that reared its head, and I didn't react right away. I didn't jump right on that. I didn't go right to "I love you" too, or "I love you" back. I did something. I'm laughing, but it was a scenario that really became a big deal. And it wasn't funny, then, but I did correct it. I learned from it, and I grew from it, And someone recently told me they loved me, and I didn't know how to react. Question, you say, well, do you love her, as well? Yeah, sure I do. I just, it's an experience thing with me, love and all that stuff was new to me, and I realized I learned a lot from my last relationship. I learned all the mistakes I made. I learned all the things I did not do, and I learned all the things I wanted to do, but I couldn't get it out. And I couldn't express myself. I've always been used to expressing myself through physical pleasure, and by the way, that red carpet treatment, always, never had to ask me to take the trash out, massage your back, massage your toes, whatever, want to hear about your day and really care, genuine. And you never had to wonder about it. You never had to question it. And so I've always been used to that being my mouthpiece, what I do versus what I say. And so I'm proud of myself in the sense that I really was talking about how I've been working on myself, throughout the last year and a half and things, and trying to grow from my mistakes and, want to get things right, because it really hurt me to lose real love. It hurt me to lose something I really wanted, someone I really wanted. It really hurt me. And I didn't, and for that to be my first experience, you might say, well, just stayed your life, your first experience. What do you mean? Well, for me, I really wasn't emotionally connected. I really wasn't, I didn't understand that, love was a priority. I was just so used to, it's almost like you got a bag of candy. You have a bag of candy, and, it's a unlimited supply of candy. And so, you don't worry about those pieces that taste, that you really are your favorite. You know what I mean? You don't worry about it because you just eat the bag, whenever you want some candy, go get that candy. And so, you kind of think of it in that sense. So you don't treasure it the way you should. You don't honor it the way you should, And yeah, you might turn around here and make sure you get a beautiful bowl for it. You may make sure that you keep it, looking really glamorous in the house so it blends in and, it stands out and it's this beautiful thing. But you still don't treasure the taste of it. You don't treasure the fact that you have that candy. And, so sometimes you may take it for granted. Sometimes you just eat it and go on about your business and all these different things. And that's kind of the best example I can come up with. And being exposed to love and emotions and things of that nature for the first time in my life to that level, I learned a lot of hard lessons. I learned a lot of hard lessons. I learned about loneliness. I learned about, despair. I learned about, regret. I learned about all of those things that a human being would not never want to feel, ever experience, when all the thing you wanted was the beautiful parts of life, and yet it's gone. It's gone. And so I worked hard to try to learn from my mistakes. I worked hard to try to grow from my errors. And so when God opened up the door for me here, a month or two, a couple of months back, a little over a couple of months back, and opened up the door for me to start, dating again, and for women to start seeing me again, and, and I no longer was invisible, and things went so fast. They really went fast, and even in this particular scenario, it really went fast, and, it just jumped out the gate, getting deep, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, and I'm proud of myself, because everything that I had worked on and seen in my mind, I put into practice. And I kept the parts of me the red carpet parts of me, but I got rid of some of the parts of me that was not worthy of being in play. And so that made things go even faster. And so I was not prepared. And I thought that I had all my bases covered, but I still was not prepared for the "I love you." And so when she said it, I was actually walking away, and and she said it, and I was like, okay, I stopped. I had to, first of all, realize what she had just said, and as happy as I was that anybody would love me after all I've been through, and all the mistakes I've made, I didn't handle that the right way. And so having had that conversation, and then one thing about it, and even she admitted afterwards, throughout that evening, that afternoon, that night, when I really thought about it, and I said, I did not handle that right. And her reaction already told me I didn't handle it right, but I thought about it on my own, that I didn't handle it right. And I went over what I should have done and things of that nature, and we got talking about it. We talked it over and everything, and she was not happy about it, and but the thing is, when she says she loves you, what is the first reaction? When you think that you're already showing, how much you care about her already, And so I learned my lesson, and I'm growing every day. I made one or two other mistakes too. I did. I'm not gonna say what they were, because it's gonna make me look, bad, in a sense, But again, I corrected it. I got it right. And I tell you one thing, this sideline. This kind of seemed like a sideline. I have a habit, and I bet if I go back and look at my videos, I say man a lot. What I'm saying? I just, it's like it don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? It has so many different meanings. Like you know what I mean, or it can mean it just kind of co-sign on what I just said or whatever, and it has so many meanings. And it's like I don't think about it. I must have been saying man a lot, and I do remember that. And she brought that up. She brought it up, and she explaining it to me in a way I never thought about it before, because I do know that in my last relationship she brought that up, and I didn't think nothing of it. I really didn't. I thought she was just kind of coming down on me because of my southern dialect, and so I really didn't take it as serious, And then when she brought it up, I realized, oh no, okay, this is a problem. This is a problem, and she explained to me why it's a problem. And so, I quickly, got to working on that, and I've been working on it, and, because it's something I want to, when I'm trying to work on something and I'm trying to correct things. I want to get it right. I want to get it right. Sun is starting to go down quickly, dropping quickly. But yeah, I want to get it right, So I worked on it, and I've been working on it still. I did not know it was such a habit of mine. I've been rolling solo for so long, I just didn't realize how big of a deal it was. And so I just got used to being me. And I'm sure if I go and listen back on the Nobody Show and go back and listen to my show, that I probably said a lot. And so something I'm working on. I'm definitely working on it big time because, I definitely won't think it's Maine, it's Maine, it's, and I'm not calling her, I'm not saying Maine, it's like, Maine is like, what I'm saying? You're not really talking to that individual. You're trying to make points and statements and things of that nature. And so, but everything is par for the course. Everything is up for grabs. Everything is a learning lesson. Everything is something you grow from. And so I'm growing each and every day, and I'm learning each and every day from, my errors and stuff. But that when she said she loves you, how you react is a big deal. Wow, that sun just dropped. I say this is gone. It is gone. But yeah, but it reminded me of a situation where, a woman had told me said that word to me, and I really, really hurt her. And I regretted it immediately. I didn't know how to react at the time. And I hadn't had it ain't that I didn't care, love her, I did. I just didn't know how to express it. It caught me off guard, and I really blew that. I really did. I knew immediately I knew I messed that up, because that was her first time ever, expressing something like that in many years. That was her first time, letting her walls down for someone. That was her first time letting someone in, and she chose me. And although I was, on top of my game in every area, I wasn't on top of my game in the most important area, and that's emotionally. And that's emotionally expressing emotion. Let me say that, expressing emotion, and that's the difference right there. So I never forgot that, and I thought I would never repeat that ever again, and I thought I had grown from that. But again, you're talking about the kid in me versus the man in me, and so the kid in me hadn't obviously always not in play mode, but handle things in that manner. And so you don't really understand the seriousness sometimes of some of the things of your the behaviors, certain things that you did not, or how you react or come to that woman, you know what I mean? So I'm learning. I've learned and I'm learning, and I'm steady growing. And so hopefully I got this thing down packed now, and the status of that relationship I'm going to leave off of this video because of some extenuating circumstances. But at the same time, though, once you love someone, you love them, I still love, the women I've loved, and I will always love them, and whatever connection we had will always exist in me. And so to have an opportunity to learn and really solidify that part of me, I'm honored. And so, and to learn, hey, what you're doing right, and if you have grown the way you thought you have grown, to have the honor to see if that's really true is a blessing. It's a blessing. So, wow, what an experience. And it's a powerful experience. And whomever my forever, mate turns out to be, whomever, she turns out to be, then I'll know that now I'm more than prepared to be able to say, I love you back. I love you too. And not just show it, not just illustrate it, not just through all of the things that I do, but I'll be able to verbally say it from my lips to her ears. I love you. And I wish it was something I had learned a long time ago, but we cannot turn the clock back. Can't turn the clock back. So I got it. Check mark, check mark, right? Check mark. So here's to growing each and every day. Here's to, manifesting in the moment. Here's to trying, pushing forward. And every time something has came up, I've worked hard and to change it, to fix it. And I'm going to continue, to fix it. I'm glad that, that list probably one day would have been a long list. But because of all the hard work I put in, the list is not as long. It's still huge, it's still big things you don't know. And I would not have known without actual, back and forth, actual, encounters, actual engagement. You cannot know until you actually are in it. And so I'm glad to know that as much as I may make a mistake here and there, I could be really botching up, stinking up the joint. You know what I mean? I could really be stinking up the joint. So anyway, one love, always. Stay up.